All right, hey guys, what's going on? My name is Chris Hawkes, and this is Your Best Life Defined. Let's go ahead and get right on this thing. So, I'm kind of starved to talk to people. I really am. We haven't actually been around anyone in a while. And here the other day, I was out working on my podcast. And there's a guy that works in the RV park here. He's a really nice guy, but he's struggling. He's had some problems in his life, and he has some skills though. He's pretty handy with tools. He's a welder and fabricator. And in talking to him, he was telling me, he goes, fabrication is what I love to do. And so I started asking him questions about it, and I go into this mode of conversation where I'm trying to give him ideas about how he can enhance his life and do things and take his welding and his fabrication in the direction he wants to go. But what was interesting about it was every time I would make a suggestion, like the conversation was, I start out the conversation by talking about what he doesn't know. And I explained that, oftentimes there's an easier way to get to where you want to be. And what it takes is listening to podcasts or learning from people that have experienced it and been through it. And I suggested he start listening to podcasts, watching YouTube videos, and doing a bunch of things to kind of work his plan for how he's going to take and push fabrication from where it is on the back burner to the forefront of how he earns his money, because it's obviously a lot more lucrative than remodeling an old Airstream trailer and a few other things he's working for right now. But what was interesting about it was every time I would make a suggestion, he would come at me with, yeah, but. And I've kind of learned from that if I hear 3 yeah buts, I usually shut up. Because the first yeah but is I don't know if I really want to listen to this, or I'm not sure about what you're saying, so I'm going to shut you off early. The second yeah but is I know what you're saying, but I'm not really sure if I want to be committed to do anything. And the third yeah but is telling me to shut up and walk on. And that brings me to the point of this podcast, and that is, it isn't about what you can't do. It isn't about what you can't do. Life has nothing to do with what you can't do, because you can't do it. Life is all about capitalizing on what you can do. Now, it's a great excuse, I can't because I'm poor, I can't because of this, or I can't because of that. Because at that point, as long as you haven't come up with an action, a course of action, you don't have to do anything. I can't is the perfect place to hang out if you're lazy, or if you're unmotivated, or if you're unstimulated, or if you drink too much or use drugs too much. I can't. Or if you want to be enabled, or you're an enabler, or whatever it is, I can't is the perfect excuse for you to sit on your butt and do nothing. And there's some of you who are listening to this right now who are probably getting ready to shut it off, because this isn't something that everyone's ready for. If you're not ready to be told you can do whatever you want to do, and you're not willing to accept that, and you want to make excuses about where you are and why you're there, you're in the wrong place. Because this podcast and what I'm about I'm not about excuses. The reason that I haven't done this sooner is because I made excuses about it, because I didn't believe in myself, because I didn't take the action it took me to be here. Otherwise, I'd have 1,000 podcasts instead of 100, right? And that's really what it comes down to. We can make all kinds of excuses when it comes to the condition of our world and our life right now because of COVID-19. But the truth is, most of us were struggling before COVID-19 ever came along. You're not in debt because of COVID-19. You're just more in debt because of COVID-19. You were in debt way before COVID-19 ever came along. So here's the issue. What can you do about it? Take that big issue you have, whatever that monkey is on your back. Maybe you didn't lose your income, but maybe your relationship is just going south. It is just on the rocks, and you'd like to not see it go to shit and have everything fall apart. But the question is, what can you do about it? Well, you could do a couple of things. You could start by being kind. You could start by sitting down with that person you love and saying, okay, listen, here's what I'm willing to do. This is what I can do. I can promise you that I will not yell at you again. I can promise you that instead of going out drinking every night after I get off work, I'm going to come straight home because you're more important than anything in my life. What you can do is you can ask your partner to abide in those same rules. What you can do is you can become the most amazing person in the world, so amazing that the person you're with now, your partner, cannot resist you. What you can do is lift your partner up instead of oppressing them and telling them what they can't do. You can support them what they can do. If you're talking about your finances, oh, I can't, I don't have the money. Okay, well, what you can do is you can go ahead and make a plan where you sacrifice and go ahead and pick up an extra job or maybe pick up extra shifts so that you can eliminate that credit card debt or maybe put some money in the bank because you don't have any money in the bank. If you're struggling and you're unemployed because of COVID-19, you're not sure what your future looks like, you can start devising a plan so you can see what your future might look like. You can start taking a look around at things outside your comfort zone and things outside your box that might allow you to jump into a career that is essential. You don't have to be a waiter. You can actually go into another field of work. You can investigate the possibility of becoming a telemarketer or becoming a car salesman or any number of other things. And in doing so, that will satisfy that need you have. But the biggest hurdle we face in that is change. Change is scary. I can say this. It's not real scary for me. Change isn't real scary for me because I've been doing it so much throughout my life. There's always been things, the unknown. My whole life has been unknown, unpredictability, because as a kid, I was moved from here to there and here to there and here to there. And I just never had anything. So I didn't have anything to lose. And I guess that's the benefit for me sitting here now. When I sit here and I think about this podcast, when I first jumped into it, I allowed myself to get into that cycle where I'm like, oh man, I'm not good enough. I'm not as good as everybody else. Oh my goodness, what are they going to think? What are they going to say? You know what? I don't really care what anybody thinks or what anybody says about what I'm doing. Because you know what? I know what I can do. I can keep working at this and I can keep sharing my story, and eventually someone's going to pick up on it. They're going to say, wait a minute, you know what? I see what he's saying. It's not about what we can't, it's about what we can do. What you can't do doesn't matter. If you're using it as an excuse to not have to face that struggle that you know you're going to face, well, use it. It'll work fine. I can't is a perfect excuse for sitting on your ass and doing nothing. But a guy like me, when you come to me and you tell me, hey, listen, this is my problem, I go, well, here's what you can do. And then you don't do it and you ask me again and I hear you complaining about the same problem, guess what I'm going to tell you? I'm not going to tell you a thing. I'm just going to sit and listen to you cry. Because it's futile. See, I said in a previous podcast, I was talking about something. I can't change you. You don't have to worry about my ideas getting in your head. The next thing you know, you start living your best life. You start waking up, and instead of being run over by your life and feeling like your life is a big-ass monkey on your back, you actually wake up energized because you have things to do, because I can't make that happen. What I can do is I can give you ideas about it. I can wake up every day excited about this podcast and get energized about picking topics that I think apply to you. See, the only reason that I think this podcast hasn't jumped off the way it should is because most people aren't ready to think about things this way. But when it comes down to it, the reason that people are sitting in the position they're in is because they chose it. And the reason some people are able to get out of the position they're in and some people are not struggling is because they chose that too. And the difference is that the people that dug themselves out of the hole they're in right now, or are digging themselves out of the hole they're in right now, it's because they are looking at what they can do. You're a restaurant worker and you lost your job. You buy a sewing machine, a bunch of fabric, you order a bunch of elastic, and you start making masks. What do you have to lose? For less than $1,000 investment, you might have a lucrative business that sells masks at $5 a piece and it costs you $1 to make them. You don't know. It's about what you can do and what you're willing to try. But as long as you sit back and go, well, yeah, but, or I can't do that because, and you start coming up with excuses, I'm done talking. In fact, if that's where you're at, you should probably stop listening. Because when it comes down to it, this podcast is geared towards people who are at the end of their rope and are looking for an option, are looking for an idea that will get them moving again. An idea that will give them hope and energize them and cause them to reconnect with what is possible. Because that's my goal. My goal is to get you to connect, not with what you can't do, but with what you can do. Because the sky's the limit. We are the biggest obstacle in our life. Our ideas in our heads, our insecurities, our fears. But the truth is, you can do a lot of things, even amid all this struggle. The question is, will you? That's where it kind of gets scary. because, I mean, I don't know. I'm looking around. I don't see it. I don't see that hard push like it should be. As a society, I mean, I get it. Social media is interesting. It's entertaining. It does all that. And I'll keep that where it is. But the point I'm trying to make here is that if you took half the time you spend doing shit that doesn't matter and you focused it on stuff that does, and it was based on things you can do, what could you get done? What is possible? The sky's the limit. I mean, look at me. I'm 59 years old. I'll be 59 years old this year. I should be hanging out playing shuffleboard or playing cards, and here I'm doing a podcast. And what makes me think I can do it? Because I can. Just like anything else I have going on. I don't really care what anyone else thinks of what I'm doing or whether anyone else thinks I can succeed at it, because I am succeeding at it. I've got 118 more podcasts recorded than anybody else I know. Anyone I've met personally. I don't know anyone who wakes up every day with the conscious intent to sit in your RV, set up the lights, set up the camera, learn how to edit, and do a podcast every day. For free. I can do it. You know why? Because I can. And that's not about money. This isn't about money for me. It's about me helping you make your life better. This is about me showing my great-great-grandkids who I was. This is about me reaching out and saying, you know what? It feels a hell of a lot better to give than it does to receive. And that's what I'm doing. The shame would be that I didn't do this, that I thought I couldn't. I can't be a podcaster. I can't get out there on social media. I can't put my videos out there on YouTube. And for me to die with everything that I know inside me and all of this knowledge lost. What can you do? What can you do? That's the question. I mean, and I can guide you. I mean, we can talk about all kinds of things if you'd like. You want to talk about tragedy? Well, I can't because you know what? Everyone is broken. Everyone has baggage. Everyone has hurdles that are keeping them from doing what they do. Everyone carries around a bucket of crap. Shameful moments, the things their dad did, the things their mom did, not having a fair life, being poor. It just goes on and on and on. And if you want to dwell in that and you want to live that and let that be your life and your guide, then guess what? You're right, you can't. But it's not because it's not there for you. It's not because it's not within your reach. It's because you just don't have what it takes inside to motivate yourself to do it. It's easy to do nothing. It's easy to accept the life you're living. The difficult part is to make that transition from standing by and watching every day tick by until you finally die, and jumping into life every day with both feet, jumping into life every day energized about the things that are in front of you and the opportunities that you create. See, I'm not waiting for an opportunity to be notable on social media or to be an influencer in the world. I'm not waiting for that. I've actually decided that I have to take action. And this podcast is what I can do to do that. My interactions on Twitter, that's what I can do to do that. My YouTube channel, that's what I can do to do that. And there's going to be another I can behind this. I can finish that book, and I will finish that book, and it will be published, and I can promote it and put it out there, and it will do what it does. And when I get past that, there will be something else that I can do. And it's not connected to my environment. It's connected to my willingness to look outside the box. It's my willingness to push the walls down on the box I've trapped myself in, and to push out and explore the world, explore the possibilities. So the question, let me ask you now. What are you doing today to push your life to the next level for tomorrow? What are you working on now that in a day, a month, a year will culminate in you waking up and saying, you know what, my life's better because of what I can do. My life's better because of what I took advantage of and what I did. I mean, I get it. Life's hard, it sucks, your relationship, the money issues. But you only have a couple choices. You can sit back on your hands and you can cry in your milk, and you can talk about how bad it is, and you can take in all the negative information that's being put out there, and you can just hunker down into your misery. Or you can wake up and say, okay, today's the day I change something. Today is the day I take control of my life. I step around all the opinions of everyone and everyone who stands in my way, and I take a path to what I can do. And pick it, and then take that action every day. And before you know it, you're going to be there. And the cool part about it is, winning feels great. Winning is why we keep doing things, because we see growth and we see the prosperity and we see the satisfaction that comes from focusing on something that we want, or something that we've chosen to go after and then to achieve it. I mean, it's like, that's why I play disc golf. There is nothing that sounds or makes me feel better than the sound of that disc hitting those chains. It's a unique sound that you don't hear anywhere else than you hear when that happens on a disc golf course. And it's so rewarding for me that it's like, I can do this, I can do this. Throw a disc 100 times, and then you hit one. And all of those disappointments, all those misses don't matter anymore because you hit one. And it all starts with being able to see it and say it, I can. So go ahead. Do what you got to do. Pick your choice. I don't know what your circumstances are, but I know no matter what they are, if there is the desire within you to do better, then you will. And the reason you'll do better is because you will choose to. And it starts by eliminating your focus on what you can't. Let the past go. It doesn't matter. Let the past go and focusing on what you can do. Kind of a short one here. I'm kind of pressed. I've been busy doing a lot of stuff. We're getting ready to hit the road. I'm really excited about it. I never imagined when we bought this fifth wheel that we would be so energized by the opportunity to travel around the country and see things we've never seen before, and just to experience the burden, because there's a burden that comes with it, and then the exhilaration of overcoming that burden every time we hook up and we head down the road. So we're going to be heading out pretty soon, but just to get back to you, there are so many things you can do. There are so many things you can do, and all you have to do is set your sights on the horizon, start looking for those opportunities and create them, or create them. Just like this. This is an opportunity for me to create something I've never created before. And it's an opportunity for you to take advantage of what I'm giving you and to jump into your own life and to take charge of it and start driving that ship, start guiding that boat on a path that you want it on, because you're the only one that can do it when it comes down to it. So anyway, I think I appreciate it as always. I appreciate you guys following me. I appreciate you showing up every day. I realize that not every podcast I throw out is at that high quality. Sometimes, you just don't have the energy. I apologize for that. But what I'm not going to apologize for is the message. The message is clear and concise. This is about me trying to give you something to help you live your best life. There's no bullshit here. I don't want anything from you except for you to wake up one day and go, you know what? I did what he said. I listened to what he said. I got rid of the shit that he said I didn't agree with or didn't work for me. And over the course of a year and a half, 2 years, my life is better because I actually took the time to look at myself and say, what can I do? So, anyway, listen, I appreciate you showing up. And as always, just remember, today's your day. Make it a good one.